Hey everybody, happy Friday. Tony Mejia here for Playbook Experts with our NBA recap and Friday preview video. Thanks for visiting our YouTube channel. Be sure you like and subscribe, and you can follow all of my work and pick packages at pb.buzz/TM there, that address down below. You can also follow me on X at Mejia Dinero, where I give my opinions on everything in the world of sports, especially the NBA. And we're going to go ahead and preview the goings on Thursday night, which had some eventful happenings. The biggest thing that occurred was Stephen Curry going down with an ankle injury late in the fourth quarter. Hopefully, it's not too serious. I don't think it will be. The Warriors will obviously do some tests later on Friday, and it's probably not going to be something that'll keep them out long. But you also, this time of year, don't want to rush anybody back and risk injuries like a ankle issue to linger. So we'll see what occurs with Stephen Curry. And then a double whammy, the Warriors ended up losing to the Chicago Bulls, 125-122. DeMar DeRozan once again was clutch down the stretch. The Bulls making their run as they try to climb the Eastern Conference standings. Looks like they're going to be a playing team, but trying to make a run to avoid that and get into the top six. Either way, picked up two big victories in tight games at Utah on Wednesday and in San Francisco against the Warriors on Thursday night. On the biggest game, obviously, on the Thursday slate was the potential finals preview between the Celtics and Nuggets that lived up to billing. Boston made its run late and helped get the total over the posted number at 115-109. Nuggets picked up the win, and the total of 221.5, 222 was eclipsed by a bucket as Denver made free throws late to seal the deal. Nikola Jokic was again tremendous with a triple-double, made up for a rough night from Michael Porter Jr., and the Celtics got a huge performance from Jaylen Brown, who was questionable most of the day, ended up playing and ended up being the best player on the floor, including Jokic, but not enough to get Boston over the finish line. Celtics have now dropped consecutive games after losing to the Warriors earlier on the road trip. The Kings survived the San Antonio Spurs 131-129. Big play there late with the Spurs trying to win the game on the final possession. They had 23 seconds on the clock when a three-pointer from Malik Monk tied it for the Kings. So you figured that they were going to get into their final set and take the last shot of the game, win or going to overtime. Instead, Domantas Sabonis picked off a pass, went all the way down, laid it in, and the Kings held on for a 131-129 win. De'Aaron Fox had fouled out at that point, so it was a really clutch performance from Sabonis and Sacramento, surviving a Spurs team that was playing without Victor Wembanyama. It sounds like Wembanyama won't play either on Saturday due to his ankle issue, I believe. But the bottom line is Greg Popovich doesn't anticipate him being in the mix against Golden State. Minnesota won't have Karl Anthony Towns for at least a month as he had a procedure to deal with a meniscus injury. And with Karl Anthony Towns shelved, it's now Anthony Edwards' turn to really take over. And he came up with an enormous game, 44 points and a game-saving block against Indiana to beat the Pacers at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, 113-111. Minnesota was able to defend well, keep Indiana from playing the pace that it likes to employ, and ended up picking up a 2-point win. So they're hoping that life without Cat is going to be manageable, since he's probably not going to be back until right before the end of the regular season if all goes well. And the bottom line is Minnesota now has to survive without him and try to earn the highest possible seed. But since nothing is easy in the Western Conference, their life just got a lot tougher in terms of advancing as they look to make their move this season. Detroit, our free pick yesterday as a +2, ended up winning outright 118-112 over Brooklyn, which has been inconsistent for weeks now. Pistons got 34 points from Jaden Ivey and 32 from Cade Cunningham to pick up the victory over Brooklyn. At home, again, another free pick. That's our third consecutive conquest, and we're going to ride a player prop, maybe two, to finish out the week, hopefully successfully. The Mavericks came back from a deficit against Miami and won 114-108. Another triple-double from Luka Doncic. He scored 35 points, grabbed 11 boards, dished out 11 assists, and helped Dallas survive Miami. Unfortunately for Heat backers, Jimmy Butler didn't take a wide-open layup there late in the game. Instead, kicked it out for a three-pointer. The game was over anyway, so wouldn't have mattered except for the spread. And had he taken that layup, Heat would have covered. Instead, they lose as 4.5-point underdogs, losing by 6. And in the final game that we haven't talked about, Toronto made its push and lost only 120-113 after being down significantly in the first part of that game. The Suns raced out behind Grayson Allen, hitting three-pointer after three-pointer to begin the game. Allen ended up with 26 points, and then Kevin Durant played closer, finishing with 35 to overcome a great game from Emmanuel Quickly. Suns won 120-113, staying afloat with Devin Booker still on the shelf. He should be back shortly. For our free play, actually, let's talk a little bit about the Friday night slate in the NBA. You've got a number of attractive matchups. The Knicks host the Orlando Magic. We'll see if Jalen Brunson is able to return. We know Tyrese Maxey won't be back for Philadelphia's game against New Orleans. Miami visits Oklahoma City. We'll see if anybody sits on the second night of a back-to-back for the Heat. They got a big game out of Terry Rozier and are hoping he continues to settle in. Jimmy Butler had an off game against the Mavericks, so maybe he will be on the offensive as he needs to be aggressive for Miami to be competitive in OKC. And Houston visits Portland. The Blazers still dealing with multiple injuries. We'll see if Scoot Henderson comes back. It sounds like he's the closest out of that group that includes Malcolm Brogdon and Shaedon Sharpe that have been missing for weeks. Anthony Simons will need to have a big game for Portland to have any shot at competing with the Rockets. Jabari Walker questionable for the Blazers in that game as well. DeAndre Ayton doubtful. And in the final game of the night, which is the best one, Milwaukee visits the Lakers. We'll see if LeBron James is able to shake off that ankle sprain suffered the other night and suit up. Giannis Antetokounmpo will be in the mix. Chris Middleton will not. Lakers trying to make the most out of this home game heavy schedule that they've got until late March. Don't leave California until I believe it's like March 24th, March 26th. They really need to take advantage of this break in the schedule. Lost to the Kings the other night, looking to bounce back against the Bucks team that was also defeated the other night in Golden State. With Giannis coming back, again, he's going to be in the mix tonight. For our free play, we're going to go to the Atlanta and Memphis game. The Grizzlies continue to be depleted. Hawks will now not have Jalen Johnson due to an ankle injury, so add him to a group that already includes Clint Capella and obviously Trae Young sitting, but the Hawks rightfully favored. I like the over on two things, player prop-wise in this game. DeJounte Murray, points, rebounds, and assists go high side. He's been incredibly productive. And Vince Williams, only rebounds and assists. You know, you can't count on him to score every night, but you know you're going to get everything else from him, including great defense. We'll see if the Hawks can hold serve at FedEx Forum. But again, our free plays for Friday night's action, DeJounte Murray, PRA, over. Vince Williams, rebounds and assists, over. Thanks for joining me all week. If you have gotten free winners pretty much every night. I hope you enjoy the content. Again, like and subscribe. We're going to have our Friday roundtable show with Mark Lawrence, Andy Isco, and our producer, Greg DePalma. And we'll also see if anybody else joins us. I'll be in the mix. That'll be on Friday afternoon. And you can always see the replay on the Playbook Experts YouTube channel. Again, join me at pb.buzz/TM for all of my packages. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you Monday. This is Tony Mejia signing off.